So, yeah, first of all, my name is Frank, or as I would say in German, Frank. Actually, I made the decision of being last on purpose, so either you first, that's a marketing thing, and then I said, no, I don't want to be anywhere in between, so I said, okay, I'll wait to make the last impression. Now, it depends on how long a presentation goes and how long the day goes, but in this group I said, okay, yeah, well, the last one basically is something you might remember as well. Don't get me wrong, but over the last couple of years, I did a lot of presentations, of course, within the company, and so you tend to learn more and more things. So people tell you things, people give you feedback. So I know for myself I'm a good factual presenter, so my presentations generally are short and precise. But what I'm here for is something to have something more of a presence in the presentation room, to capture the audience. I mean, if you mention something as well, once the people start using the mobile, you know you lost them, or at least one of them. One star, then you see others as well. Preparation, very important to me as well. I don't go through 3 different sets. But what I'm doing as well, we had the video that we couldn't listen to. So when I know I have a presentation, I actually book the room at least half an hour before. So I check my presentation, I check whether people can actually read the letters. So you saw the blue slide, the blue heading, I couldn't see anything. So sometimes I go to the room, check if the slides can be seen, check if basically the projector works and everything, so to make sure that things are in line. And actually I noticed that I put my hands together like the guys. So for whatever reason, maybe because I've just seen it. Yeah, or maybe just something small on your name. I remember when I was back in school, we had French lessons as well. We all had to pick a name, and for whatever reason, I was my French name. Just remember that. It's a long time ago that I heard that name as well.
My name was Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre.
I don't know why.
Since I've been a commentator. So a little bit about myself. I am about 13 years now in the UAE. I came here first time in 2005. Well, it's just a simple calculation. I worked for a consulting company at the time, and then moved into automotive in Amsterdam. But I want to talk about the job a bit later. I have a beautiful wife, she's Ethiopian actually, and we have 2 small kids, or just size, so one's 4 and 3, and they basically give us a lot of trouble as well. But it's a lot of fun actually. When I go to have kids, they know it's fun, and it's not always so much fun, but it's fun at the end. So I'm happy to be here. You know, the reason why I want to be here is so basically get more, you would say, executive presence to get the room to engage the people and to maybe tell a story in between as well. Yeah, so thank you. All right. Well, everyone nowadays, and actually let's bring ourselves into perspective. We live in Dubai. So what does Dubai do with us? It makes us actually a little bit lazy once in a while, doesn't it?
And speak a little bit slower because you're just overtaking yourself.
All right. So yeah, I said, so Dubai tends to make us a little bit lazy once in a while, and that's why I slow down a little bit now as well, because we get comfortable with ourselves, lean back a little bit, and think about what some people do actually when we are hungry. So what do? We basically pick up the phone, look on the internet, and check what food is available. So most of the
use pauses, because at the moment you're talking like a little bit of a train. Aside from the fact that you're also talking a little bit too fast, so try to have a slower pace. Use pauses, breaks, let it sink in, and then go to the next topic or to the next.
Let's consider we have a slow internet connection.
We do actually.
The web page loads actually, and so what do we see when we actually, let's consider the situation. We order food or we look for products, so we do some research on cars, for instance.
Cars!
Yeah, cars, yeah.
Food! Food!
Bring us food, and we're so hungry.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can't wait for lunch to come, and boom, what pops up is an advertising of a burger.
Of a burger.
Of a big burger, not a tiny burger. And we start craving for it. So, well, what just happened? So basically, we've been pushed by advertising, pushed by media, to take something that we might actually not want to eat in the first place. So,
we do not want this in the first place.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
We actually want to buy organic only. I don't know, I've made that. No, but the topic is, we see advertising of those food companies, of those fast food companies, each and everywhere. and it influences us. It supports the lifestyle of I, specifically for those that don't have kids most of the time, but also for those that work every day. So I used to work in an office actually at the airport. Where was?
At the airport.
Where they have?
Airport. What's in the airport? Planes.
We're sitting actually in the office. So of course you get hungry. So what do? You don't bring food from home those days, and you start ordering foods. So on the way to work, you might have passed by a large billboard, large one, that has some nice burgers, chicken nuggets, whatever you.
Burgers and chicken nuggets.
So you basically start getting influenced. So would this industry live without the large marketing and the advertising popping up and the billboards and whatever we see? I don't think to that extent that is here specifically in Dubai. So lifestyle, I believe, supports it, but marketing does, or advertising, that's the bigger add-on to it. So we get influenced easily. We tend to buy things that we actually don't want to buy, and we tend to eat things that we actually don't want to eat.
Would it be successful without marketing? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
And not to that extent. I believe it would not be that successful. Actually, it's based on each and every product, I would say. So marketing always plays a big role. So the more we see it, the more we actually hear people talking about it. But why do people talk about it? Because they tried it because of advertising, I believe. So advertising makes the whole thing more known to us, makes it more convenient for us, makes it more accessible to us. And that's why it's so successful. So I believe without advertising, fast food or that fast food industry would not be as successful as it is.
What are your thoughts on the junk food industry in comparison to the current obesity rate here in the Middle East? Is there a connection with marketing? Is there something you would say, yeah, it is a bad thing. That's the reason why they have to wrap it nicely with colors. Tell us a little bit more about your thoughts on obesity and the current situation.
All right. Well, I believe it has two pictures. Two aspects to consider. Well, one is, as I mentioned, I think the comfort zone of people living here, and the other one is, the big advertising topic. So, what's the easiest way for most people? Well, look in the shopping mall. You go to a food court. When you look at all the offerings that you have, most of it is junk food. Most of it is pizza, burgers, KFC, just to name a few. There's hardly anything. I could start developing hardly anything that is healthy food. So if you go to these places, it's convenience again that plays a role. It's the advertising that you have heard, and I start to repeat myself, I know, but there's a connection of it.
There's a connection.
There's a strong connection of it. And I believe it's also something that growing up with, and I've seen this in some countries, growing up with natural food and then suddenly having the access to it, that creates as well the aspect of obesity, and it creates people eating more unhealthy food and basically getting health problems as well.
One more thing, if you think about the junk food industry and the advertisements you have actually mentioned, what about kids? They see all of that. How do they grow up with it? Tell us a bit more about this one.
Well, I believe it depends on the parents. So for me, it's not the kids that choose, it's the parents that choose. So of course, kids, they will see a nice toy when they get the kids meal at McDonald's, and kids love it, so do mine. But it's a choice that you make. So yes, I know that basically kids prefer things when they get something special. And for my kids, it's mainly the toys, it's not so much the food. So they know chicken nuggets, they know French fries, but when we order it, it's like one or two that they eat and then the toy comes in. So still, for me, it's the choice that the parents do and not the kids. Depending on the age, so my kids are quite small. Once they grow older, I think it goes back into the convenience topic again, and what they maybe know from the parents.
Now, junk food is not only fast food, as we know. Junk food is also convenience food, the one you get and put in the microwave, for example. What about breakfast cereals? Is junk food in the end of the day. So, what do you make out of this?
Well, I disagree to that point.
Okay.
So, junk food for me is, and it's probably a definition topic, it's something pressed, fluffy most of the time. As you mentioned, microwave food, something of conservative. Is it called conservative?
Preservatives.
Yeah. So that you basically put into something and then you have a quick and most of the time not so healthy meal. Whereas cereals, for instance, could be something, more of an healthy lifestyle unless it's filled with sugar or something.
I was about to say, tell that to the people who are constantly using or eating Kellogg's Max full of sugar.
Yeah, that's so for me, like cereals, as you mentioned, is more like the muesli kind of type, organic food, kind of with nuts and almonds, kind of stuff, which I would not consider as junk food. I don't eat it by the way, but I would still not consider it as junk food. It's more of a healthy kind of living, unless the sugar type.
Then let's talk about the not so healthy cereals like Kellogg's. Well, that's fine. Let's not talk about the healthy cereals. Let's talk about Kellogg's Max and all that stuff, Frosties and so forth. Consider the packaging, what it looks like. How does it appeal to kids? Tell us more about this one.
A great thing, and there was a time when I used to eat this as well. Why? Well, it was quick in the morning at the end. So yes, of course, the topic was I wanted something sweet in the morning, so I bought the stuff with sugar. But at the end, I said, well, it doesn't really make a difference to it. I would eat in a different connection.
I would feed it.
I do eat it, and then at the end you drink.
Yeah, there you go.
So for kids, of course, you look at it. But again, for me, it's like a parental or parent kind of topic. So once you buy it, they might see it and they recognize it again. But otherwise, it's just the packaging that's. And I have to talk about the kids that I have, which are still quite young, so they don't really see. Okay, there's something colorful and I can eat it actually. At an older age, maybe it might be different. But it's again like something that you can educate your kids on, if you don't buy it, you don't buy it. So it's a matter of your own lifestyle that you educate your kids with.
Great.
And I think that's important to know. But an average person is a classification of who. So who classifies what average means? When we talked about intelligence, we talked about your experience of work, talk about goals.
So we're talking about goals.
Try to be more quiet now.
Comfort zone, Frank. All about getting out of your comfort zone.
So I don't want to actually define someone as average, because average is something where you have many individuals and then you put them together in a melting pot. And we all, and I want to go back, we all live in Dubai, where this is actually a melting pot. Besides the topic that some people definitely perceive others as superior or as subordinates, and that's something very, very openly lived actually in the UAE. So being average, no one of us is average. So and everyone has attributes of something that someone says, that's average. Whether it's the jacket you wear or the clothes you wear or the food you eat that we had. So I don't see that there's an average person, not among all of us, neither would I feel myself as average, neither would I want to be classified as average. I think we all want to be something special. We're here to make an effect on people, whether it's a presentation, or whether it's our families, or whether it's the last moments in life that Sasha mentioned. So I know I'm drifting a bit away, but it all goes into the average classification, and that's why it's difficult to talk about people on average, because that would bring me to actually what Jian mentioned, to bring me to someone who says, well, you're different, you're below me because I believe you're superior, so you're average. And I do not want to go there, never ever.
What do you do, personally you, when you deal with other people, in order to avoid being seen as an average person? So you're saying that...
Yeah, your question goes a little bit against what I said. So
I'm trying to make you think on the spot.
Yeah, so as I mean, let's go the other way around. So we all think that, or I hope we all think that we have something special to give, something special to contribute, something special to say. Whether everyone agrees to that, it's a different scenario, but we all, and the question was how I believe I can make myself special, right?
Yes.
So just by standing here and talking to you, I believe I do something special to you. So something I might say will stick in your head. You might consider, well, it might create a thought. So I don't want to say, okay, I want to differentiate and stay away from average. I just want to be myself in a special way. So I want to show you that me, Frank, is a person that you will remember. You will think about what I said. You will maybe learn something from it. You will maybe take away something that, yeah, Frank is a nice person. No, Frank is an idiot if you think about that.
And you take away
something.
What you just said. Take away that Frank is a nice person. So you take away that Frank is a nice person.
Then you push away the idiot. So yeah, let's keep that thought of, yeah, try to be a nice person that can influence you in one way or the other. So that's something I try to give to people as well.
Well done, thank you, Frank.
So the most important lesson of my life so far.
Curious to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Well, I have to think about it a little bit because there's many lessons that we learn. So because of the very deep topics I had so far today, I continue that route. And one lesson I learned is to summarize it, to live the moment and to not postpone things. So why I'm saying that? When me and my wife got married, we got married in Germany, and we said, okay, let's do one marriage in Germany and one in Ethiopia. Why? Because we said, okay, my family and my friends would probably easier come to Germany, but then we have the exciting part of doing something extraordinary in Ethiopia, which, at that moment, she told me, yeah, well, it would be at least 1,000 guests. I said, what? 1,000 guests? Yeah, well, right. Exactly. Unfortunately, there's a sad end to the story, but we said, okay, well, one of her sisters, and she has many of them, was about to get married as well, and we said, okay, let's combine it, so it's like once, put it all together. Unfortunately, her mother was very sick. So, and we were very lucky actually at the time when we got married that we could bring her to Germany and some other family members. And her mother was really like enjoying it. It was totally different to what she knows. I mean, like Germans tend to be more stiff in celebrating. So weddings sometimes, yeah, people know. Well, we have a good party. Maybe we can party as well, but that's a different topic. So, but she enjoyed. It was good to see, and we know that she was actually just in between treatments, and it was good to see her lively and to see her daughter in good hands. So thanks, Frank. And it was really like a nice celebration. So I said, okay, when we came back, I said, okay, what's happening now with the Ethiopian part of the wedding? So unfortunately, the part of the sister got delayed a bit and was postponed. So we said, okay, what are we going to do? Do we do it on our own, or I said, okay, let's wait, because there was development. And unfortunately, what happened then, her mother got so sick that she didn't survive the end of the year. So we got married actually in July, and by the end of the year, her mother unfortunately passed away. And that's a memory, and that's something I think back of saying, well, why actually did we miss the chance of doing that family? So the mother was the last one from my parents living actually. So, and it's something where I think back and say, okay, if you have a plan, don't wait for things to happen. Don't try to depend on other people. I mean, like, push for something that you want to do, and that's private and that's for business as well. And to give it like a little bit positive and nice. I mean, we are all here to do that actually. And I think we all make the first step. And this lesson learned is something that I think all of us, I think, embrace because we want to change something. We want to do something positive. So we want to live the moment and do something good about it and change ourselves and hopefully not postpone things. Yeah. So lessons for me learn, and hopefully I can give that to you. So if you have something, especially something big planned, don't try to shift it. Yeah. Do it straight away.
Cool.